Hey guys, this is the Lucid podcast. Today we're going to be talking about old YouTube versus new YouTube. I'm sure we'll probably get a little bit into the history of YouTube in general and what we remember about it, seeing as we were there when it first started. A lot of things, just the way that the era that we grew up in our age group, we kind of saw the rise of technology. And I mean, like, I didn't really, I was using IMs and forums and like different weird little things on the internet. And then all these things, like, none of these things that you use now even were thought of. And it's kind of weird looking back thinking of that.
Yeah. I mean,
I had
YouTube
my own
was
forum
around.
page. Yeah,
Sorry.
I had my own forum page called, like, St. Elmo.
Like your own, like you were you were an admin, or you just had your own?
Yeah, I was an admin. Because me and my group of friends, probably around when YouTube started, I was probably 2007, 2006-ish when I was like doing that. But a couple of us had like different forums that we all made and just kind of like would go back and forth to each other's and shit like that. It was basically just like an extension of the jokes that we make during the lunchtime in the lunchroom. It's really weird thinking back about it, because I'm sure I don't know if anyone else remembers any of that stuff, and I don't know what any of the forums names were. It'd be like crazy looking back at that and reading through all those messages and all that shit.
Yeah. I mean, you know what they say, once it's on the internet, it's there forever, which isn't completely true, but
yeah,
it's
but I mean,
probably
they have
still there.
Wayback Machines. Yeah, I mean, what, YouTube, you said it was launched 2005?
Yeah, 2005. So it's like
I don't remember like the first days, but I remember being I think I was in 7th grade in 2008. So, I mean, around 5th grade, yeah, I was pretty much the only video. So, like, I just remember watching, like, the fucking Chipmunk song version of everything.
yeah?
Of literally everything.
Literally every song had that. Like, every song.
I remember, song parodies were, like, the biggest thing. I will admit, I watched the fuck out of Fred.
I never really watched Fred that much. I remember watching, like, FPS Russia a lot and thinking he was, like, so cool. You know, the dude who shot guns.
Yeah, he's dead,
He was huge. No, he's not dead. He got arrested. But he's alive.
Yeah, I just remember, especially I feel like I listened to a lot of music. I remember fucking listening to Nickelback on YouTube. And then, I remember Crank That, that's kind of like the Crank That Soldier Boy era. I remember playing the fuck out of that.
Oh my god.
Roy, just like all the fucking shitty dance music.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say this before we got too far into it. A lot of people didn't know this. YouTube was originally a dating site, and the videos you post were supposed to you were supposed to post vlogs about what you wanted in a partner, so that you can go to someone's channel, watch what they wanted, and see if you were a good fit for them. That was actually how it was in like 2005. But everyone was just uploading videos of whatever they wanted, so they just gave up on that.
Yeah, I think probably mid 2006 is probably when it started hitting its stride.
Yeah, like actually started
becoming like something that we were. I mean, none of it's really recognizable compared to today.
Yeah.
But I do remember watching a lot of little weird skits and like sketch comedy.
Yeah.
Just like early Smosh.
It was like these really like, no one really edited anything back then. The most people did was just a few jump cuts. So like, you know, they do these skits. Skits were huge. Like, and they
And
do
I
skits.
remember watching Tourette's guy all the fucking time.
That sounds familiar.
Fuck.
I don't know who that is.
He was always like, fuck.
Yeah, that stuff like that never. Basically, it was a lot. People were a lot less sensitive back then. Like, you could get away with saying a lot of things
Yeah,
on there.
he said. I mean, his whole thing was just cursing randomly and like,
Yeah,
you
that
know,
would not
fucking fake
fly.
muscle spasms and shit like that. And,
That would not fly nowadays at all.
now I'm trying to think of the unforgivable videos. No, the pussy got pregnant. Unforgivable.
I don't remember that.
That was like a whole series that it was pretty funny. I'm trying to remember. I just remember watching random shit, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like back then I feel like you didn't just go on YouTube to watch who you subscribe to. You just kind of watched whatever. Like you remember
Yeah, the Explore
Tuk
tab
Tuk
was
Ton.
actually real. What do you say?
Do you remember Tuk Tuk Ton, the Indian music video? It's like it had this horrible CGI. The do that song. Do you remember that?
I do not.
I feel like you'd know it if you saw it. But that video was
I
huge when it came out.
I remember. I just kind of like to make a point of this. It's weird how certain random little viral videos, especially like CGI characters that did songs, ended up having Netflix series and all this different shit. Like I remember watching Norm the polar bear or whatever, or like a polar bear character who just like fucked himself up all the time, and that might have been like 2009, 2010 era YouTube, and it was just like one of them we went bowling. I remember it. Like I don't know, it was weird, and I saw that they actually made like it's like a Netflix series
Oh.
now.
Yeah, I mean,
guess
and
it's
look at
nostalgia.
Fred. Like Fred got 2 movies, didn't he?
Yeah, and he was on iCarly.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not sure
he
if he was
was.
on. He had his own TV show. I mean, when
He got a
was
TV
low
show.
budget,
Oh, he
just,
did.
yeah,
Yeah.
when he was a low budget, just kind of like a weird little kid making random videos with, you know, I can't really do the pitch vocals because, you know, he pitch shifted his voice or whatever. But I don't know. It was kind of like stupid, funny humor, like really stupid, childish humor.
Yeah, it was.
It works for YouTube. When he became bigger than YouTube, at that point, I think he had already been doing it for a pretty long while. Like he overstayed his welcome.
Yeah, that's usually
like
how it goes.
I think they got to it way too late. If they would have did it when he was in his early stages, and because I watched him, I'm probably around the same age. I might even be a little older than him.
Yeah,
but he's probably around the same age, and I was probably like sixth, seventh grade, like maybe even a little younger. But by the time like iCarly came out and shit, I already felt like I was too old to be watching that type of shit.
Yeah, right.
Like I watched it like a little bit, but within like a couple years, like I was like I'm a little too old to be watching that shit. And then he was on it, so I feel like they probably missed their target demographic to a certain extent. Like he had already been kind of the people that would have been interested in him already had matured a lot, you know, within the past within like a 3-year time span, where it's like that's something that's funny at the time, but by the time they got to it, I feel like it was.
I mean, it was such a big gap between when he was big and when he got his movies and stuff. Like, I remember when he got a movie, I was like, what? Like, why is he just now getting this?
Yeah, it should have been a long time earlier than that. He was the biggest YouTuber for a long time. I mean, I think people forget about that.
Was he the biggest?
Subscribed. Yeah, I believe
really?
he had the most subscriptions for a while. I mean, you could research that.
That doesn't
someone
surprise
listening
me.
and tell me that I'm wrong, but I'm fairly certain he was the biggest YouTuber for a while as far as subscriptions go.
Yeah, probably, definitely before like PewDiePie.
Yeah, and I kind of remember YouTube being more like America's Funniest Home Videos, just like a
Yeah.
little rawer. Like,
Yeah,
just
for
have
sure.
weird, funny videos. And
Yeah, because
then,
people didn't really edit anything back then.
yeah, and then you have shows that kind of came and tried to, like, take advantage of that, like Ridiculousness, Tosh.0, where really
Yeah.
they pretty much just took YouTube videos and commented on them. And Tosh, that show is funny every once in a while. There's been a couple funny episodes. I think Ridiculousness is fucking garbage. I think that show is like pointless and I think it's like one of the worst shows I've ever seen, honestly.
I hardly remember those shows.
Yeah, but I mean they capitalized off of YouTube. I think they might have made it a little. I don't think they really helped, honestly, because YouTube by that point was already 2013. I feel like 2012, 2013 is kind of where it was like YouTube set into what it is now, and kind of was
Yeah.
like, wow, this is serious.
I think like
People are,
2010 was like golden age for it.
Yeah, and that's kind of where like if you're around in 2010 at YouTube, you're like considered an OG.
Yeah, right.
I think it's kind of weird, but I mean, I was watching it when it first started, probably 2000, like I said, 2006ish, 2007.
I wasn't around way back then, but I was watching probably like 2008. I was watching it.
I remember fucking the Gummy Bear song, Crazy
Oh my
Frog,
god, yeah. Oh my god.
all the Lion King songs, like Hakuna Matata had like things, The Lion Sleeps Tonight, where it's just like random CGI animals singing songs.
Yeah.
And like,
dude, you know what I hated? Annoying Orange. I hated that series.
Yeah, I never watched that, and then I saw the show a couple times, and I was like,
this is not funny. Like,
I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever seen. I think that's one too. Like the show came way after.
It did, yeah. It did. It was
after.
way too late.
And I think that's part of like what happened with YouTube trying to kind of go into TV and TV trying to grab from YouTube is the timetable is never really lined up from what I've seen. I can't really think of any shows that were really successful that went from YouTube to like cable or network television.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I could be wrong, but
I mean, I think it's because the people who make these shows and movies, whatever it is, are just late to the party themselves. I think they just don't realize, like, they're like, oh, there's money in that. There's you know, a lot of the kids like this, and then they make it. It's like, yeah, the kids like that back in, you know, 5 years ago. You're a little late now.
All those kids are teenagers by now.
Yeah, right.
Or teenagers become adults, you know, and it's like
yeah.
I don't know, the internet is one of those things. Yeah, if you're late, you're fucked. I mean, I think memes have kind of changed that a little bit, just because something that was even a meme 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even 6, 7, someone comes across it and then gives it that push, and then it just revitalizes it, and then it's
that does happen.
But I feel like that's just more meme culture than it is like
it is
anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like I don't remember there being as much controversy, even though more fucked up shit happened back then. And I think that's kind of weird.
Or drama. I don't remember there being that much drama back then, to be honest.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
there was.
I think we could all agree that there was probably some really fucking off the wall shit that honestly just be like, this is too far. Like even by back then standards, shit that was probably too far.
Oh yeah, and people were less sensitive back then. So if something gets to people, back then, it's bad.
Yeah, nowadays, I mean, just look look
Nowadays,
at YouTube's
anything,
landscape right now, and really just, I don't know. Just look at cases like Call Me Carson. I don't know what the dude that the EDM. What's that dude's name?
EDP.
Yeah, EDP. I mean, the EDP situation is a lot different because that guy, you know, is a diddler essentially. So I think that him being fucking vanished off the website and basically blacklisted and everyone coming for his wallet, great thing.
Yeah.
But Call Me Carson, I mean, he literally didn't do a single fucking thing. So
Yeah.
I
mean,
don't really
that's
see.
a whole different story, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to say it's a power dynamic. There's a power dynamic no matter what you do. I mean, if you're a YouTuber that has millions of subscribers, no matter what, no matter who you talk to, there's going to be a dynamic. Like, you're someone well known. What is he supposed to do? Fucking only talk to other YouTubers? I mean, like,
Yeah.
there's not that big a fucking market for that. Like, it's not like there's 1,000 YouTubers that are fucking. I'm sure there are, but still, like, it just. I don't know, and I don't know the situation's ins and outs, but just from what I heard, it seems fucking stupid, and I think that's a pretty good comparison to modern YouTube. Is reaction channels, drama shit.
Yeah. I mean, people were
Overall,
just
just
so
bullshit.
much. People were so much like. I miss the times where you could say not. I mean, it was a little out of control. I'll be honest. Like you could say almost anything back then. That was a little bit bad, but it should be. It should be more like it is to that end of the spectrum than it is now. Is what I'm trying to say. Like if you watched PewDiePie back in the day, that dude was the most like he was the most R-rated like channel on the entire platform. Like the things he said, it was just
And he had a bunch
outrageous.
of
Like
kids watching his shit.
yeah, a bunch of. I
Most
think
of his
that's why kids
audience
liked
is
him.
kids.
I think kids liked him because he was edgy. Like just the things he said was just ridiculous. Like, and that just really says something about the times. Like you could say whatever back then. And back then, like I don't know if you were watching videos like this, but way back, people would just play a game on YouTube and just talk over their gameplay. Like that's literally what people would do. And they would just literally get on a game and record it, like record a match of them just like doing good. And like you don't see that at all nowadays. I'm not saying I necessarily want that nowadays, but that's what people used to do, and those videos would get massive views. If you did that nowadays, no one would care at all.
Yeah, I didn't really watch any videos like that. Like I said, I remember just like listening to like 2000s era hip hop, a bunch of
I
a
remember
bunch
people
of
would make.
crazy ass new metal.
I remember people would make like if you were watching like gaming videos back then, people would make these like skits in game. Like, do you remember Red versus Blue for Halo?
Yeah, that was a huge thing.
That was huge, yeah. And people would make stuff like that. People don't really do those anymore. But which, like, again, I'm not saying I necessarily want them to, but that I don't know. That was huge back then. GTA 4 skits like Machinimas, uh, Halo, like all those old games. Like people would just make.
Leroy Jenkins. Dude, wow. Wow. On that channel, you know?
Wait, what did you say? You
I
broke
feel,
up really bad.
I said, wow, like, wow kind of lived on YouTube. You know, I don't think it would have been as big of a game as if YouTube wasn't around.
World of Warcraft?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really see many World of Warcraft videos.
I just remember seeing Leroy Jenkins on there.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I remember
Just that one
seeing.
video. I mean, that was like one of the biggest viral videos.
Yeah, it was. Do you remember the Epic Sax Man or whatever it was called? It was just the guy playing a saxophone on loop for like 10 hours. It was everywhere.
Dude, yeah, that was the best era of people. That was like the big time of people doing the video loops and the challenges.
Yeah, Rickroll, dude. Like,
yeah, Sandstorm.
yeah, Dirt Sandstorm. Oh my god. My favorite, I'd have to say.
Getting that down. Sorry. I got possessed by the sandstorm. For a second.
I'd have to say my favorite thing about that era. I'm surprised. I don't know why I'm bringing this up so late. I felt like you were gonna bring this up earlier, but creepypasta culture.
Yeah,
Slender Man, Jeff the Killer, Ben
huge.
Drown.
I mean, that was kind of probably, that's like golden era YouTube. That's 2000, from like 2010
2010
to 2015.
Slender Man was absolutely massive. Yeah, it's definitely fallen off.
I remember us talking about Slender Man back then when it first came out, and like there was actually a real air of like everyone knew it was a real, but I mean that's kind of like the era of text chains and shit like that. I used to get text chains, and some of them genuinely like scared the shit out of me.
Yeah,
like,
actually.
I'm not even gonna fucking lie. Like I remember one text. If you don't text it back, this girl will wake up like at the foot of your bed or whatever. And I remember being at like a friend's house and I got like 3 of those from people, and I'm like, I'm not fucking chain mailing this.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking doing that. And I was like, what the fuck? I think I slept at his house, and I was like, oh shit, dude, this shit has me fucking shook.
Yeah. Yeah,
and, I mean, as a kid, getting text messages like you didn't know any better, and it felt fucking real. And I think that's what worked about it is technology came. I feel like shit just became more like where it's not believable. But at that point, like that shit was like, you know. Everything on the internet, you kind of took it at face value a little bit more. Yeah,
you really did. Especially when you're that young. Because that's how it was for me with creepypastas. Like, not all of them. Some of them were just blatantly stupid. But I remember Slender Man. Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but there was this thing in the games where not even the games. It was the stories too. If he's stalking you, because he stalks you before he does whatever he does to you. And if he stalks you, you dream about him. And I had a dream about him. And I was like, oh no. I was like, he's coming after me now. I don't have much time left.
Dude, I remember, I'm not going to say you're terrified, but I remember you being scared of that. And just like, I know for a fact I just like joked about it nonstop.
Well, you were also a little older than me, so.
Yeah, I mean,
that was so long ago. I don't know what grade I was in back then. I feel like I was in like 7th or something, maybe even younger. I don't remember.
Really? I feel like you would have been 8th grade because I was in.
I probably was.
What am I 2 years older than you?
Yeah, 2 years I think. I was probably in 8th.
Well, how old are you now?
22.
Yeah, so you might have been in 7th grade.
Yeah, I might. It was somewhere around there. But I remember that, dude. And Jeff the Killer, that was never scary, not even back then.
The stupid ass face, like.
Yeah, the horribly photoshopped face. That was never scary.
Off. What the fuck? Like, nothing about that is scary. But there were some fucking scary creepypastas.
Oh yeah, there was.
No End House.
Yeah.
Scary.
No End House is terrifying. That's scary now.
Yeah. And I don't know if you ever watched that one series that was on Sci-Fi that adapted creepypastas.
No, I never really watched it. I remember I tried to and I like couldn't find it or something.
I can't remember I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but I watched
no,
I watched No
Zero
End
Out.
House.
I forget.
Yeah, Channel Zero.
Yeah.
I watched No End House, and it genuinely was scary. At least to me. Some other people might say, "Oh shit," I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was. I think
a
that's
pretty
one of the
damn good
scariest
creepypasta.
creepypastas. I
Yeah,
think that's one of
Candle
the
Co.
one.
I remember when Candle Co. first came out,
Oh
and I
yeah.
just remember all the like Mandela effect creepypastas. Like, do you remember this? And
Yeah.
like, I just remember so many of them. I remember like Teletubby creepypastas, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
you know, shit. When obviously you're old enough that you don't like. There's no reason that you'd watch any of that shit anymore. But you like still you're not old enough that it's like you don't remember it. Like, cause you know, I don't know about you, but I mean, I had cable at home, but like most kids, I feel like I went to a babysitter's because my parents worked. Um, so I mean, I wasn't allowed to stay at the house by myself to look after myself until I was probably like 9 or 10, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's most. I mean, like I feel like a lot of 7-year-olds, you have a babysitter watch them, they're like you're not sitting roaming around the house by yourself.
Yeah. Right.
So like the babysitter didn't have fucking cable, so I watched PBS, and I was like a little older, but so at that point, just hearing those, and I'm like, you know, I'm only like 3 years out of not seeing that shit, you know. So it's like
Yeah.
fucking what the fuck? Like Squidward suicide.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Creepypastas.
Dead Bart.
Yeah, Ben Drown was fucking creepy. Like
Ben
I
Drown was
remember that
actually
back in the day.
creepy. Yeah. That was
And just
really creepy.
PlayStation era, it made. I know that was like that's a Nintendo type of thing. So like 64, and you know even before that, it's kind of. But just like PlayStation era games, just kind of looking back at them, some of them had a very like had an air of creepiness to them, just because the polygons and how they're fucking everything's pixelated, and it's like it just
Yeah.
feels like nostalgic. Like I remember one of the first video games I ever played was Resident Evil, and I had trouble sleeping in my room a long time because of that fucking game.
I played the first Resident Evil game I played was Resident Evil 4, and I literally didn't even beat the game because I was scared of it. But so I went back and beat it later in life, but when I first played it, I was terrified. And it's not even that scary of a game. I'm not sure why I was so scared of it.
Honestly, the first Resident Evil game was pretty fucking scary for what it is.
Yeah, the first one is scary for sure.
I remember because games that I played that I had Oddworld, I had Medieval.
Oh yeah, Medieval's good.
Yeah, I had Oddworld, Medieval. I'm not sure if I had Spyro or not. I think I had Spyro on DS or on Game Boy. I had NFL with 989 Sports. So like shit that like most of these companies aren't even fucking like didn't even last into like PlayStation 2 era.
Yeah.
I don't even know what fucking year that was. That might have been like 2002. So I mean that's a long fucking time ago, man. Even though that's not about YouTube, but fuck, you know.
Yeah. What really, what creepypasta really scared? I mean, when I think about things on YouTube that scared me, for one, it was those fake gaming, like, oh, if you do this in a game in Call of Duty, a monster come out and get you. Like, I remember Call of Duty had so many of those. Those kind of scared me. Some of them didn't.
I know, that's ridiculous. That's such a ridiculous thing.
Yeah, they're so stupid. But like, also this creepypasta called 1999 scared me because, have you heard of that?
No, can you do the little synopsis real quick?
It's like, it didn't scare me because I thought it would happen to me or anything like that. But it was about like this kid who watched a show, and the show was telling kids to like meet up somewhere, and it was only local, like it wasn't all around the globe or anything.
I've heard
And
of a
this,
couple things like that, dude. There was one
yeah,
with like a TV show with like a clown as the host, and then
I
a
don't know if it
guy
was the
like
clown.
like
It
a
was some,
detective found videotapes of it or some shit.
yeah, I think that's 1999. And like he met up with this guy, this guy in the suit, and he was just like, I forget what happened, what he did to the kids. He did something like horrible. He ended up like killing someone or something like that. I don't even remember. Or the kids disappeared or something. And I thought it was real. I literally thought it was real, like an actual story. I was just like, wow, this is crazy. This actually happened. And I thought it was real for the longest time. In 1999
It,
wasn't even
that's
that long ago, I don't think.
that's what night like when it was made or when the video or the creepypasta was made wasn't long ago or what?
I I don't remember when it was. It was a long time ago. Like it was like back in that era, but it wasn't as
Dude,
long ago as like Slender Man. I don't think. I don't know. I really don't remember
I
actually.
I remember. I feel like VHS uh, tapes being found. Like that's one of the scariest things in the fucking world. Like I can
Yeah.
think of like
Right.
3 creepypastas that I couldn't tell you the names of them, but had premise similar to that, and all of them were fucking terrifying. I know one there was like a cable access show or something.
Yeah, that shit's definitely like really creepy.
And then yeah, the guy apparently there was just like something like was similar to Teletubbies, and it like was just fucking or like do you remember the uh what were those fucking things that were kind of like Teletubbies, but they were just big fucking balls, and like they had the fucking bald heads, and they were all different colors. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
And Teletubbies?
No, it was like a different show.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
It was supposed to be like creatures like that, and then they found out that the creatures were real. And this detective was just like, like watching these VHS tapes and like watch it, and then they'd have like behind the scenes, and it was like actually like this like it just got worse and worse, and it was. I actually listened to that not that long ago, but it was old. Like it's pretty damn old, but I listened to it not that long ago, and it was fucking pretty creepy. And just listening to it as an adult, I was still getting like sketched out. Like it was
Yeah.
probably within the past 9 months I listened to that, and it was pretty fucking creepy. And I don't remember what it was called. Um, there was one called The Road that was pretty scary, where it's like you, if you're wanting something, this road will
Oh
just kind of
yeah.
appear to you, and then you end up going down it, and then shit just starts happening to your car, and then you like pretty much
Yeah.
the longer you go down it, the more drastic shit gets. And at the end, you pretty much find out there's really no way to beat the road. Like your car stops no matter what.
Yeah,
And
I
if you
do
get
remember
out, like
that.
you're fucked. And I feel like that was a pretty old one.
Yeah, that one
But
is pretty old.
that one's kind of creepy just because like if you can open something with your subconscious, and then all of a sudden you're going down something and you didn't even fucking like you're asking for it, but like you're not even asking for it, like it's kind of your subconscious thinking about it, and then all of a sudden you're in a different, and you're like you didn't even like do it on purpose, and then you're fucking doomed. Like that's terrifying,
Yeah, that really is terrifying.
and that is a pretty good one. It's not the best or anything, but it's good enough that I remember it.
Yeah, I actually like that one a lot. But we're not even like on YouTube anymore, so we should probably like
Yeah,
wrap
we're
this up.
creepy pasta in it. Uh, I could probably segue it back saying we talked a little bit about old YouTube. Obviously, I was around back then, but it was a little there's a little like fuzz right there. You know, it's kind of fuzzy. I
Yeah,
just want to
for
bring this
sure.
up because I remember this being synonymous with like going to my friend's house. Like he would have his birthday party and hell people would go and sleep over, and we watched YouTube videos. And there was like, and I feel like flash games kind of go hand in hand with back then. I remember one
Yeah.
game just being the fucking scariest thing in the world, and I have no clue what it's called. I remember just walking around like in a fucking like you start off in a church and there's like a priest behind the fucking like thing, and you're talking to him, and like you go out of the decrepit ass church. I think it was a point and click flash game, and then you like go into this like house, and then all of a sudden it's like a head just fucking flies off and like into the distance, like flies in the frame, and it's fucking like right in front of you, and it's like I can't remember what the fuck that was called, but I just wanted to bring it up because that shit was scary as fuck. And if anyone like I know I barely painted a picture of what it was, but if someone knows what that game is called, let me know because I'd want to play that again. And
Yeah, I don't know
one
what that would be.
one thing from that era that I remember watching a lot of is like the stick figure shit.
Oh yeah,
like, stick
yeah.
figure assassins. And
Like
stick
yeah.
figures and just like a ridiculous amount of blood. Like
Yeah. I remember that vividly.
and there was like a bunch of different ones, and then there was the skits. My spoon is too big. I am a banana. I don't know if you remember that. It was
I don't remember that.
Imagination Fun Time or some shit like that. There was one where it's like, my anus is bleeding. And then you have, like, it's like a little cloud, like a creature that's like a cloud. And then there's a bunch of other ones that say, yeah, my anus is bleeding, yeah. And then more of them just show up.
What?
And then eventually, like, he drowns in his own blood.
What, dude? There was
And it was
literally
just weird-ass videos like that.
yeah. Some of them were like
Really low budget
some of them were like
animation.
really well animated like stick figure fights.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing
just,
those.
Like, really low budget animation that was like decent, and it was just like fucking random shit that was just weird as fuck. And you kind of see that like it was like just that was entertaining. It was like Adult Swim type of animation, except not fucking just gross out cringy bullshit.
Yeah.
It was like just genuinely like, what in the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And like it was good because it was like that, because it was just like, what in the fuck did I just experience?
Yeah.
And I remember watching so much of that shit, like just a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, I did too, I think.
Even took long to remember that. And yeah, just challenges in general. Challenges were all the fuck over YouTube.
Yeah. I
And
remember
was
like challenge. You mean like cinnamon challenge and shit?
Yeah, challenges, and then
Yeah.
even like creepypasta like type challenges, which we'll save that for a different day.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
And that's kind of, it's just like, I don't know, dude. It's really nostalgic. It's just like the flip phone era.
Yeah.
And I just remember being in someone's house, watching. I remember like everyone talking about Two Girls, One Cup. I never
Oh my god.
watched it,
Yeah,
but
I
just
do
remember hearing people talk about that all the fucking time. I
Yeah.
remember sitting fucking back when people actually listened to the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah,
I
everyone
mean-
was talking about that video.
I never watched it, but
I
I'm
never
sure
watched it either.
that is everyone talks about. I didn't really go on websites that weren't like YouTube type of things because
Yeah.
like I was like, that sounds like risky.
I don't even know if that video was real. I mean, it probably wasn't, right?
No, I'm pretty sure that video is real.
Was it?
Dude.
I don't know. Everyone was saying it was real. I don't know if it is. I don't know if it isn't. I don't know.
No, I knew. I talked to. I'm not gonna say. I talked to someone and asked them about it not that long ago because we were just talking about like old videos, and I was like, do you remember that shit? Like, everyone talked about that because they're just talking about like 2007, 2006, like middle school days, and he was like, yeah, I saw it, and I was like, so it is real. I don't necessarily know if I knew anyone that watched it, but I remember everyone talking about it.
Yeah, everyone was talking about that.
I know for a fact I didn't watch it, and I'm pretty glad that I didn't.
I am too. I don't want to see that video. I feel like you'd have a hard time tracking it down anyway.
But nowadays, I bet it's probably easy as fuck to find.
Yeah, maybe. Cause I mean, it is a popular video, so probably.
I mean,
Yeah, quote unquote popular.
And it's not YouTube, but I can't think of any other, like, it's just so weird. Like, porn is not something that really goes viral ever, and I'm glad
That
it
is
doesn't.
true.
But that video did, and that's like fucking weird. And
Isn't that so weird?
I mean, it was YouTube because I just remember so many people reacting, like just video after reaction video of that.
I feel like reaction channels were more like there's definitely more of them now, but back then I think they were bigger because there wasn't as many people on the platform. So when someone did a reaction, it was like, you know, you didn't see many other people doing reactions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's a weird ass thing. Yeah, this has been Adele back in the days of YouTube.
Drive down memory lane.
And it sucks that I don't remember a lot of that shit, but yeah, I guess it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's been around for a long time at this point, and I don't know. It's crazy thinking back to what it became. I guess is kind of like the only thing that I could say.
Yeah, I kind of like, in certain ways I miss it, and in other ways I don't.
YouTube has its problems. It has its goods and bads.
For sure.
I feel like the fact that it is so monetized and everything just kind of became about people trying to make a living off of it, and you know, like, oh, this and that and this, and then just advertisement, and even the fact that like everything is like, you know, here's our sponsor today, all this shit and all that shit. It's kind of gotten to the point where it's annoying, but it's fun to think back to a time where no one gave a fuck about any of that. No one gave a fuck about anything.
No one cared back then.
Just random weird shit, and it was just like no rhyme or reason. You could come across anything. I mean, one of like a video that I like, a stupid ass skit that I would have made and put up there would have had a good chance to seriously be on the homepage or just like be on the explore tab, and someone come across it. Then now, like now, it's pretty much impossible to.
Yeah, you wouldn't get any exposure nowadays doing something like that.
Yeah, and that kind of sucks because that type of content, and I feel fucked up not mentioning this, but even like Filthy Frank shit, like that type of Filthy Frank, Maximoto, anything for views, like How to Basic, all those guys just made, honestly, I'd say hilarious skits. I don't necessarily think all of them have aged really well, and I think they're all pretty. A lot of them are, you know, they've all done pretty successful for themselves and went on to do other shit and are doing well for themselves. It's dope to see, but I miss that era of YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though it was all pretty self-aware, and it was all kind of just like directly making fun of its viewers, saying like, "You guys are fucked," but like, I don't know. I miss that. Yeah. Hey, boss. But yeah, this was a trip down memory lane to old YouTube, and we didn't really make the comparisons to new YouTube. But you know, I think it
kind of did.
Both of them have their. Yeah, we kind of did. Both of them have their charm, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to both. It's not black and white. One's not easily just better than the other, really. So
I think from 2011 to 2015 was the best part of YouTube.
yeah, I agree with that.
Shit before that was random and funny. I just can't remember enough of it. And from like 2015 to now, it's just progressively, I don't know, maybe even to 2017 was still pretty good at that point. I feel like 2018-ish to now, just kind of, it fell off a cliff.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it really does suck. But, yeah. Hopefully, shit just keeps evolving, and we can get back to YouTube with some charm and sincerity.
Yeah.
I don't know what the likelihood of that is, but I cross my fingers
Probably
for it.
very slim, but I don't know. Who knows, I guess. But if you have any golden memories of olden YouTube, there's probably not many people out there now that remember that are watching this, but whatever. If you have any memories of that you want to share, let us know. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff we have not mentioned in this, like plenty of stuff. So yeah, but hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.